Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something that's truly at the heart of what it means to live a life of purpose and meaning. We're going to talk about justice, mercy, and how we care for the most vulnerable people in our communities. It's a huge topic, but we're going to explore it through the lens of two incredibly powerful and direct verses from the Bible. Let's start with a question that people have asked for thousands of years. What does God actually want from us? Amidst all the rules, traditions, and rituals, what is the core requirement? The prophet Micah gives us a beautifully simple yet profound answer. In Micah chapter 6, verse 8, he says, "He has shown you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." Let's break that down. Three things. Act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly. It's not a complicated checklist of religious duties. It's a blueprint for a way of life, a posture of the heart that translates into action. First, to act justly. Justice isn't just about punishment or courtrooms. Biblical justice, or mishpat in Hebrew, is about making things right. It's about restoring equity and creating a society where everyone, especially those on the margins, has the opportunity to flourish. It's about actively challenging systems and structures that create and perpetuate inequality. It's not a passive idea, it's a command to act. It means we have to get involved. We have to see where things are unfair, where people are being taken advantage of, and do something about it. This could be in our workplace, our local community, or on a global scale. Acting justly means we don't turn a blind eye to wrongdoing. Next, to love mercy. The Hebrew word here is hesed, which is so rich. It's often translated as mercy, kindness, or loving kindness. It's a loyal, covenant love. It's a deep, heartfelt compassion for others. Notice it doesn't just say, be merciful. It says, love mercy. This implies it should be part of our very nature. We should find joy in showing compassion. It's about more than just feeling sorry for someone. It's about an active, enduring commitment to their well-being. It's the kindness you show when no one is watching, the forgiveness you extend when it's not deserved, the second chance you give because you believe in the potential for redemption in others. Justice without mercy can become cold and harsh. Mercy without justice can become sentimental and enable wrong. We need both. They are two sides of the same coin. And finally, to walk humbly with your God. This is the foundation that holds the other two together. Humility is recognizing that we are not the center of the universe. It's understanding our place in relation to a creator and to the rest of creation. Walking humbly means we don't have all the answers. It means we listen more than we speak. It means we are willing to learn from others, especially from those whose experiences are different from our own. It's a daily, continuous journey, a walk, not a sprint. This walk with God keeps our pursuit of justice and our love of mercy grounded. It prevents our good deeds from becoming a source of pride. It reminds us that we are all in need of grace. So Micah 6:8 gives us this incredible framework for a meaningful life. It's about how we orient ourselves toward God and toward others. But how does this play out in the real world? What does it look like in practice? This is where our second verse comes in, from the New Testament. In James chapter 1, verse 27, we get a very concrete picture. It says, "Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this, to look after orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world." This verse is incredibly direct. James is basically saying, you want to know what true religion is. It is not just about what you believe in your head or the songs you sing on Sunday. It's about what you do. And he points to two specific groups, orphans and widows. Why orphans and widows? In the ancient world, orphans and widows were the most vulnerable people in society. Without a father or a husband to provide for and protect them, they were often left destitute, with no social safety net, no legal standing, and no way to support themselves. They were the epitome of the marginalized and powerless. So when James says true religion is looking after them in their distress, he's giving a tangible example of what it means to act justly and love mercy. He's taking the principle from Micah and putting it into practice. Looking after them isn't just about tossing a few coins their way. It's about entering into their distress, sharing their burden, and actively working to alleviate their suffering. It's about providing for their needs, protecting their rights, and welcoming them into community. Today, the specific categories of orphans and widows can be expanded. Who are the most vulnerable in our society now? It could be refugees fleeing conflict, the homeless person on the street, the elderly person living in isolation, the single parent struggling to make ends meet, the child in the foster care system, or those struggling with mental health challenges. It's anyone who is experiencing distress and lacks a support system. James is calling us to open our eyes and see them, and notice the second part of that verse, and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. This might sound like a separate idea, but it's deeply connected. The world, in this context, often refers to the self-centered, power-hungry, materialistic value system that stands in opposition to God's values of justice and mercy. Being polluted by the world means adopting its priorities. It means becoming so focused on our own success, our own comfort, and our own security that we become indifferent to the suffering of others. It's the attitude that says, "That's not my problem." Keeping ourselves unpolluted means intentionally resisting that selfishness. It means cultivating a heart that is more concerned with the well-being of others than with personal gain. So, how do these two parts connect? You can't effectively care for the vulnerable if your heart is polluted by selfishness. And conversely, one of the best ways to keep yourself from being polluted by the world is to actively engage in caring for others. When you spend time with people in distress, it changes your perspective. It reorients your priorities. It purifies your motives. Serving others is an antidote to the poison of self-centeredness. Putting these two verses together, Micah 6:8 and James 1:27, we get a complete and powerful picture. We are called to a life that is fundamentally oriented outward. The good life, the pure and faultless faith, is not a retreat from the world's problems, but an active engagement with them. It starts with our inner posture, a humble walk with God. This humility fuels our actions. It drives us to act justly, to correct what is wrong and stand up for what is right. It also inspires us to love mercy, to show deep, loyal compassion to everyone, but especially to those in need. And James gives us the practical application. Find the orphans and widows in your world, the vulnerable and distressed, and care for them. This active service, in turn, protects our hearts from the pollution of selfishness and keeps us grounded in what truly matters. This isn't a call to be a superhero who solves all the world's problems. It's a call to do what we can, right where we are. It might mean volunteering at a local food bank. It might mean mentoring a young person. It might mean advocating for just policies in your city. It could be as simple as checking in on an elderly neighbor or offering a listening ear to a friend who is struggling. The call is to integrate these principles into the fabric of our daily lives, to see every interaction as an opportunity to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly. It's a lifelong journey, but it's a journey that leads to a life of true significance, purpose, and deep connection with both God and our fellow human beings. Thanks so much for spending this time with me today. I hope this has given you some food for thought. What does acting justly and loving mercy look like in your life? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content like this. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.